Hey everyone, I am Hallyu Tanya from Hallyu, and the lovely people at K-LUV sent me some questions that they wanted me to answer about what I do and who I am. So we're going to read through this list, and I will try not to talk forever. Alright, so let's start with number 1. What is your name? I am Tanya, otherwise known as Hallyu Tanya. Didn't really get very original with that one, did I? That's me, that's who I am. Depending on where you look me up is what you'll find me as. If you read any of the news section on Drama Fever, I'm listed under Tanya Rodriguez. If you look at me at Hallyu, I'm Hallyu Tanya. So it varies. Question 2 is how old are you? I am 27 and not ashamed. I know I'm older as far as the US K-pop fandom goes, but you like what you like. How long have I been into all things Hallyu? I would say that I probably started listening to K-pop. It popped up on my radar probably 2008. Didn't really start getting into it until 2011-ish. Like really hardcore. So it's been an ongoing process. Number 4 was, how did you get into K-pop, K-dramas, and all things Hallyu? It actually stems from my love of anime, as weird as that sounds. I was watching anime with a friend of mine, and I was really loving one of the songs that they had used for a theme, as the opening theme for this anime. She's like, I really need you to hear this. So she plays Haru Haru from Big Bang. So I started learning more about them and G-Dragon, and it kind of just went from there and grew and grew and grew. So, who is your bias group and your ultimate bias? Gotta make them hard, don't you? I would definitely say that my bias group is Block B, because they're crazy. That's pretty much it. There's a whole lot in their world that's like, we're just gonna do it because we can. As far as ultimate bias though, I don't know if I really have one. Sure, I could pick members within a group, but it's more like I like this person because of this, and I like this person because of this, not like this person is the most awesome out of all of them, because that just doesn't work for me. So, number 6. Who is my favorite actor? This one is a tie. I really like, and they have very similar names, so bear with me. I really like Lee Jun-ki, and I also like Lee Min-ki. They're both very good at whatever character they decide to play. So, because they're so willing to get involved and in depth with their characters and they don't stick to just one type of character, it is good. It's a good thing. Number 7, who is my favorite actress? Gong Hyo-jin! She's one of my favorites. She's super cute. Alright. Number 8 is, what role did you like them best in? Okay, Gong Hyo-jin, it's going to be a toss-up between Pasta and the Master's Son. I would definitely say she's grown a lot between the two roles. So it's kind of cool to see her a little bit more, less experienced in Pasta, because she's playing a younger character and the situations are totally different. But then seeing her pull off this totally quirky character in Master's Son, who is emotional and vulnerable and going through all of this stuff but still has this crazy sense of humor, is just fantastic. As far as actors, oh goodness, although super short, I'm gonna go with Shut Up Flower Boy Band for Lee Min-ki. His character didn't last very long in the show, but the impact of that character was huge. So, and if he wouldn't have pulled it off, the rest of the drama would have seemed pretty silly. Alright. Number 9 is, what is your favorite drama as of right now? Right now I am doing the Drama Club for Joseon Gunman, and I actually honestly really like it. There's something about it being the fact that it's a historical drama, but it's at the turn of the century, so they have more modern ideas and modern technologies that's really appealing to me. So that's one of my favorites at the moment. Number 10 is, what is your top 5 drama list? Oh goodness. Okay, let's go fast. Boys Over Flowers, because it's the very first K-drama I watched. It's probably a really sad thing, but I think for a lot of people it was the gateway into K-drama. Master Sun, definitely one of my favorites. It was off as far as genre, so even though it had that sci-fi aspect with the ghosts or fantasy, however you want to think about it, it was totally, like, the storyline was good. It really was good. We're going to count the Reply or Answer Me series, even though there's 1994 and 1997, as the same unit. Even though the stories were different and the ensemble casts were different, the way they're written is perfection, in my opinion. It's just perfect. Two more. Come on, Tanya, think. I have to think really hard. Let's see. I really did like Angel Eyes. Not so keen on the ending, but for the type of story it was, which is a straight up melodrama, be prepared and have tissues, it was cool. I loved Kang Han-il's character as the younger version of the lead. It was good. Like, they did really well with that one. Number 5. Think. Does it have to be? No, it doesn't have to be K-drama. It says drama in general. Okay. So I'm going to throw a Taiwanese drama in there. I love In a Good Way. Even though it's a little slow because they only do 1 episode a week as compared to 2, so it takes a little bit longer. The story of In a Good Way is awesome. It's all about finding yourself when you're young and everything, and it was just, the relationships in that story were so believable. Okay, what drama would you recommend for a first timer? It really depends on the type of drama you're looking for. The very first thing I ask people is, what do you usually watch? Like, what type of drama do you like? If you like action, something like 3 days or 2 weeks would be great. If you're more into the sci-fi aspect of it, you might like My Love from Another Star. You know, I could go lots of places with that. So let's go to number 12. Do you get emotionally involved when you watch dramas? Yes, I do. Probably not to the extent that people probably think I do. If something really big happens, though, or something super sad, there will be a few tears, or there will be a little bit of an outcry, or with the Reply series, I couldn't stop laughing, so that was fantastic. Number 13, if my life was a K-drama, which character would I be? I don't know if anybody's watched Dr. Stranger, but there is the second female lead. Her name is Soo-hyun, and she has been through a lot in her life, but she has decided, because she's gotten to that age where she's just not going to take crap from anybody. In fact, her stepbrother, decides to give her crap about something, and she just straight up smashes a car windshield because he wanted the car. So it was fantastic. You have to watch it. Okay, number 14. What type of character do you think is overused in Korean dramas? Hands down, evil stepmothers. It's very rare to find, not stepmothers, mother-in-laws? Evil moms in general. It doesn't matter if they're stepmoms or mother-in-laws or just their own mother. Not all moms are evil, people. Let's find something else. Let's go somewhere else. Like, my mom's pretty chill. So, hands down, that is definitely... Alright, number 15. K-pop idols and K-dramas and movies, yes or no? I say yes. I've actually written an article on it. You may or may not have read it. It's been on my website. It's also been updated and used as far as KCON's blog right now, called The Rise of the Acting Idols. And even though dramas with idols historically don't do well as far as ratings, as viewership, when you take those idols out of their element and put them in something that's not musical related, they tend to do really well. I mean, most do. Prime example of that would be Lee Hong-ki. I could not stand his character in To the Beautiful You. However, when you move into him as the lead in Bride of the Century, I think he did a great job. So, yes, acting idols, not in musical roles. Okay. there any drama I wish had ended differently? If so, how would you have ended it? So many. So many. Okay. I'm all for an open-ended ending, if that's where you want to go with it. But Marry Him If You Dare, or Mirai's Choice, or Future's Choice, depending on the translation you get, she literally walks, and you see both of the guys that had caused her world to be crazy, and she smiles, and that's all you get. You have no idea which one she was interacting with. Why? At least give us a definitive, okay, she's talking to this one, even if you want to leave it there, or show all three of them in one shot so that we all know that, hey, they're all on good terms. Would have been great. You just can't leave it there. Oh my goodness. Okay, sorry, I'm trying to go as fast as I can, I promise. Number 17. How do you choose what drama to watch next? I always look at the synopsis first. I don't really watch based on cast, although I do love seeing some of my favorite actors again. However, I will not purely watch a drama for an actor, because if in the first 2 episodes you cannot catch my attention, it's not happening. Or it's like, okay, well, maybe, but then I'll choose to marathon it instead of watching it week to week. So it's always based off the plot. In the first 2 episodes, if you catch my attention, I'll watch it every week. If it's kind of like mediocre, I'm not sure, then I'll wait and I'll marathon it. Or even if I don't want to marathon the entire series, I'll wait until the halfway point, and then I can decide, do I really want to watch this? And that's where I'll go from there. That's also how we decide, or how I decide, or we, if I'm working with somebody else, which drama we want to review. If we're not going to be invested in it the whole time, then there's no point in writing about it unless you're at the end and you can watch everything and know everything that's going to happen, so you can write a whole review. Okay, how do I feel about adaptations? I actually love adaptations, especially when they come from the manga anime side. There's something about the stories that have lived so long that made through their different one. In fact, like, it started with A Kiss from Taiwan, and Playful Kiss from Korea, and Mischievous Kiss from Japan, all started based off the same manga, which was made into an anime, which was then made into several dramas. It's just fun to see the stories and the different takes that people have on the same stories, because the heart of the character is always the same, but every actor gives it its own spin, I guess is the right way to put it. So, yes with that. Number 19, American adaptations, yes or no? Maybe? In the middle, maybe. There are some American adaptations of Asian stuff that has happened, and they are fantastic. There are other ones that I'm just like, what were you thinking? And I'm really hoping that since Fox is going to be doing the American adaptation of the Reply series, that they don't kill it. So, number 20, are you a ramen eater when you watch dramas? I used to be, but that's because I've been eating ramen my entire life. So, I used to be, and it's not even that I suddenly decided that I don't like ramen. I totally love ramen. I just am not supposed to eat it for medical reasons anymore, so. Alright. Number 21, is there a drama you really did just not care for? I read that right. Read that wrong. Okay, we get the point. Is there any drama that I didn't like? There are several, actually, but I like to try and stick it out as long as I can. If I've started a story and I've, at least gotten halfway, I'll finish it. Pretty Man could have been way better than it was. Marry Him If You Dare, obviously. Cinderella's Sister is one I'm still working on. The drama is so heavy. Like, I'll watch an episode, and then, like, a month later, I'll come back and I'll watch another episode just because I can't handle all of it at once. So, between my currently watching drama list, which is usually, like, 10 long between different countries, and then my anime list, I still have a catalog list of all things that have been finished that I have to work through. So, number 22, how do you feel about the way Korean dramas portray Americans or foreigners in general? I have mixed feelings. When it's a foreigner, like, they speak a different language, so it'll be French or whatever have you, Italian. I can't really speak about those because I don't speak those languages. I do know that they always seem a little bit awkward. But when it comes to English, and especially Americans, I have found that they tend to portray Americans as stupid. And that mostly has to do with a cultural thing. The way they view America. And I'm hoping that it will slowly change over time. But because the shows that get broadcast internationally, and I know this from living overseas, are not the best quality. In fact, when I lived in England, most of what I saw was like Dog the Bounty Hunter or The Simpsons, or, well, they can be funny or they could be good shows. For the most part, they just show the trashy side of the US I prefer they didn't see. Let's, show something else that has some substance, and maybe people wouldn't hate us so much. So that's where I go with that. If you're going to decide to use an American actor, actually find an American actor that's worth their salt. Let's put it that way. Air's perfect example of it. Find them that are worth their salt. Okay. What do you think of English speakers in K-dramas? Do you think they sound bland? When English is a second language to anybody, or even just something that they're learning for a role, it's really hard as far as pronunciation goes. So I always admire the fact that they're willing to take on that challenge. Same thing with somebody who's not Korean learning Korean. Most of the time, they just appreciate that you're putting in the effort, even if your pronunciation's wrong or you use the tones a little bit differently. So, yeah, I appreciate it. Alright, number 24, almost to the end. How do you think the type of clothing each actor wears relates to the character the actor is playing? Do you think there's a connection at all? Absolutely. That's part of costume design in general. When you want to portray the personality of a character, especially ones that don't have so much of a speaking personality, or even if they are the main, so they have a lot of lines, you build that character based on how we see them. So they're going to be a bad guy if they're dressed a certain way, even if it's in a suit, because of the persona that their face is giving off and their stance and their posture. But combine all that with the clothing and you get the full picture. That is how you view them. In the difference in dramas, like with women, you can tell if they're going to be cutesy by what they're wearing. You can tell if they're going to be the tomboy, I'm not going to take your crap kind of person, just by what they're wearing before the words even come out of their mouth. And it's very important, actually, because everybody makes that connection. The visual is what you perceive, and then what comes out of their mouth is what changes how your perception was to begin with. So last question, number 25. How do you think Korean dramas differ from American dramas? I've been asked this question a lot because I don't really watch a lot of American TV. I mean, I do, but I don't. It really just depends. As far as the comparison between the type of dramas, I think that a lot more is invested in Korean or just Asian dramas in general, as far as establishing characters and the situation these characters are in. A lot of American shows feel really rushed, and I appreciate the time that's taken with the Korean dramas. There's also a little bit more wholesome aspect to it, and as weird as that sounds, because I know, yes, there are dramas like I Need Romance and other things like, is it Soybean Soup and Wild Chives, or Wild Chives and Soybeans, something like that. She gets pregnant in that one, which is a very real situation, and it does happen, but the way that they address these things is not just bam in your face. We're going to take our time. We're going to build up to it. So it's not just like, oh hey, by the way, not oh hey, violence, which there's also violence in Korean dramas. And I've seen some that are pretty gory, actually. But it's not nearly as based on sexual or based on violence, or it's all part of the whole picture and not just that. I'm going to throw all of this in your face all at once. So, there you have it. That is what Tanya thinks about dramas and Asian and stuff. K-pop, woo! Okay, I need to just end this. This is going on too long. But if you have any more questions for me, you can leave comments on the video and I will make sure that I get them or I see them, or you can always send me anything on Twitter. It's at Hallyu_Tanya, Tanya, Tanya. So I will see you all later. It's nice chatting with you. Bye!